Welcome to our Riding Clock EU4 guide. Today we're going to play as Florence, or the tech dude if I had to say. But first, I'm gonna just ask you to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. I can be quite anxious about new things, and to be fair, I'm just experimenting some types of recording in order to make the best video that I'm able to. So please, leave a comment, even if it's about how bad I am doing that. And without further ado, Florence is one of the nations that in fact starts pretty small, but after 3 or 4 wars become a beast and easily punch twice their size. We do start with the Italian Signoria government, which means that we can pretty much become fuck buddies with anyone that can be married, such as monarchies and other Italian signorias, which greatly improve our alliance capabilities, making it easier to grab bigger guys such as Austria and France, and make them your best friends forever with way less effort. As well as an amazing ruler, the legendary Cosimo de' Medici, which has 55 years old and a 655 ruler stat that will speedrun technology for us while he's still alive. So try to keep the guy away of any military duel if you can. In fact, I don't even recommend make the enemy a general, even if he turns to be a really good one. As for ideas, we have right from the bat the plain Tau set, with death cost reduction as a tradition with some papal influence, but do keep in mind that the Pope guy will pretty much always rival you, making that modifier way less useful in the beginning. Tech and idea cost reduction for a first unlockable idea, followed with some mercenary maintenance and interest per annum, which will be translated in a great way to use your money and mana points, making us a really great powerhouse in the building nation side of things. That being said, for starting moves, what you wanna be doing first is to set your focus to Diplo, a Diplo reputation or improve relations if you don't have the first one. In my case, I do have a Diplo guy which is level 2, but keep in mind that I have Santa Maria del Fiore, which give you advisor cost reduction. I will hire them anyway. Don't choose your rivals yet. We want to have the flexibility to picking the rival just before declaring, in order to maximize your power projection gain. And after dealing with the states, we will be sending a royal marriage and an alliance to Milan, in order to tank a bit of AE in the northern parts and help us with the war with Genoa, and another Italian minor that we don't plan on expanding that either, such as Saluzzo for example, to fulfill the requirements in order to give us some perma-clans around us. Our first targets will be the Emilia-Romagna nations, Bologna and Ferrara to be specific. I know, consolidating your state can be quite tempting, but we need to first grow our power base as much as possible. And Bologna starts with no HRE entrance, and usually tend to disappear in the early years of the game. And for Ferrara, it's just a matter of creating an early vassal that will help in spending your diplomana and contributing to your overall force via force limit increase and annoying capital fort to your enemies siege down over and over again. Remember, playing Italy is a case of a slow expansion, since most of the province is in fact quite well developed. And thus give us a big amount of aggressive expansion to be conquered. At least the northern parts one. Naples itself is a situation that has way less developing the southern bits. For your merchants, I recommend to maintain for now one in Ragusa, transferring into Genoa, and send another one to Genoa. When the Genoa merchant arrive there, set the trading policy into hostile trading in order to help us build a spy network around us, which will be translated in siege efficiency and less AE when we conquer the province. For the states, start by giving the +1 mana privilege to all states. You don't need to bother that much about Crownland at that point in game. Our early conquest will give us all the crownland that we need in order to stabilize the autonomy, and the tax malus is not even that big of a deal in the beginning, such as the maximum absolutism that will not be rocking for at least 160 years, so don't need to make that big of a deal right now. Before continuing your state shenanigans, we want to really do our first mission, so go for a mission tab, And now that even hiring a level 1 advisor, if it's in your case, will make at least 12 diplo power per month, tap the first mission, which will give us for 15 years some improved relations and a diplomatic relation. That second one is really good in the beginning, since we'll be relying quite a lot on allies in just a moment. The second mission is a bit more tricky to be dealing with. I know that I say that I will be stopping messing with the states for now, but we really want to give the clergy the religious diplomat privilege. And seek, even before the day pass, a Austria alliance or royal marriage. The second one is probably the more common. Let's send the royal marriage. Then send the royal marriage or alliance to Milan. In my case, I will be going for the second. And when the diplomats got back, go for Saluzzo or Mantua. I do recommend that you pick Saluzzo, it's not a nation that we can really expand right now, and later, when the Shadow Kingdom has already triggered, we can be even able to diplo-vassalize them. And Mantua is a nation that, if we have the opportunity, we will be conquered them sooner than later. Remember, Savoy is not a really Italian nation for the moment. I know, that's quite a erratic thing to say, but the capital is in the French region, and they are even Occitan for now. So put the forks down and ally the Pope man if you can, which is not my case since they rival me. Besides, every player and every save has different RNGs. If you have the opportunity, grab the Pope and don't let them go. That itself will greatly improve your papal influence generation. And I have to say, if you got the Pope, Saluzzo is not that useful anymore. Of course, you can make them an ally, you have the diplo slots for that, but it's not anymore a necessary thing to be done. As for other possible alliance, try to grab one of the Iberians. If Aragon remain independent, they will prove to be quite useful, so royal marriage them as soon as you can. Back to the states. For the clergy, we already give the religious diplomat that will help us with the relations with all Catholic nations, so for now we only need to set one more privilege. The named privilege being church sanctuaries, which is just a better version of oversight by the clergy, since will give us some papal influence for every church that we build. For the nobility, rights of council and supremacy over the crown, to put the loyalty and influence in a better state. For the burghers, just free enterprise is enough. Later, we will be giving the advisor cost reduction to all states. Remember, we do have the Santa Maria del Fiore, that will stack advisor cost reduction, make us pay pretty much nothing to our advisors, open the possibilities to run level 5 advisors even if they're just 20 years of the game. But first, we need to get some admin in order to core our first province, and later boost our stability to at least 1 in order to get some juice prosperity. So we'll be going for that 2 things before taking the privilege and getting the boost for the stability modifier. And now we will be seizing and doing yet again the manpower depleting trick. For that, take some burg loans. Recruit regiments until no manpower is left. And now summon the diet. If you don't manage to get Legenda to recover the manpower, just go for the one that best suits you. In my case, I will take the recover manpower agenda, and insta complete by just cancelling the troops that I recruit. As for the advisors, take the one that you might just gain, and the level 3 admin for stability costs, since the scripted one that is always cheaper for you to hire. See that we'll be starting with a quite precarious economic situation, but keep in mind that after our early conquest, our income will basically double in size. So for now, just wait for the diplomats got back, and pray to Aaron Jesus that Ferrara will not ally anyone that is too annoying. Just make sure to recruit the free company in order to still roll Ferrara or the other Italian miner that you might attack. And after getting your Milan alliance and completing the mission, we will be attacking one of our neighbors. And since the AI just loved to screw with me, Bologna got a Pope alliance in the meantime, and Venice is in the way to ally both Ferrara and Siena. So we will need to be quick in our pace in order to not get a bad end. The first target will be Ferrara anyway, but it will be as soon as the month war declaration cooldown expired, also attacking Siena. Dealing with both of them is not that hard. Just make sure to keep your troops always close and seek easy stack wipes. See that Bologna might even also ally Savoy later on, which is not really a normal thing to do, but at that point you might already know what is to play around the AI when they just decide to ally all the minor nations around you. So for that, we'll be setting Ferrara and Siena as your rivals, and attack Ferrara right away. Declare for the conquest of Modena, and recruit a general before sending all your troops. Before sending all of your troops to Ferrara in order to, well, try to kill their troops. After stack wiping their troops, what you want to do is to leave behind the siege just an empty stack, in order to prevent the recruitment of new troops. Send your troops to Modena, and soon after we will be marching down to Siena. In Modena we will be doing the same thing. And with your war declaration call to expire, declare for the conquest of Siena. They managed to ally Provence, but I don't even think that they will be able to get there. Since their rival with Savoy, which probably won't be given the military access. Wait your troops to get to border and declare. And just like that, an easy stack wipe. Now both of the war are basically over. For the Siena siege, we'll be detaching the Free Company and send the manpower 1 into Modena. And now just a matter of a waiting game. If Provence managed to get here, they don't even have that much men, so you'll be easily able to repair them. And now for the most exciting part of EU4, a siege marathon. What you can do in order to preserve some ducats after the initial clash is to delete your cavalry. They do cost us a lot, and while we are quite strong in the early to mid game, Florence is not really a cavalry nation, so send the dudes to limbo with no regret. I know that the thing that is most costing our economy is the high-level advisors, but trust me, we will be in a way better situation after just that early war. So tank a little bit your economy, and in the meantime, build a spy network in the nation that you're attacking. And remember when I say that we need to get some admin, well, that is the point, we boost our stability to 1. And I'll just give the cheaper advisor privilege to all your states. See that the 8 something now is almost a 6, and will be getting even better later on. Oh yeah, AI moment. Holy, after a really quick siege, you'll be able to full annex Siena as soon as the province get tired of doing nothing that war. Take some money on top of that if they're willing to give you. We just need their attitude to drop a little bit in order to piece them out, or then Siena to unconditional surrender to us. After getting the Siena capital, send your troops into Ferrara. And now it's just another time of siege marathon. Dude, your nation is on fire. You lose your big alliance. And you're really saying that your priority is to send freaking 2k troops into Pisa? Take care of your shits, bro. I'll just stack wipe them and probably will be enough to take them off the war. And of course they will be destroying all over my ships because just yes. And you love when the AI just decide to screw you? At least that is enough to get them out of the war. You're drunk, just go home. I'm gonna assault your lands, you little shit. And now with Provence out of the war, just full annex Siena as soon as you can. And yoink. See that the price of corn in the province in the Tuscany states is quite high. First, because it's indeed high development province. The second reason is that if a province is in your state, the cost to cordon is double. So if you're wondering why I'm paying 1700s in a province, it's because it's a freaking good one, okay? Trust me, bro. What can be more good than a 1000-day siege? For the higher pace deal, just vassalize and get the maximum amount of money, as well as remove the rivals in order to get some prestige. Coalition is just a social construction in order to try to stop in the Roman chats to restore the glory of the Eternal City, okay? With the war with Ferrara over, we got us a new rebellious vassal, and some may wait until he's dropping off. So just improve your relations with the Emperor and try to get their alliance, and wait, or until the Shadow Kingdom has dropped, which will be making the majority of Italy to leave the HRE, helping us quite a lot in the expansion, or you get a chance in stealing the Bologna holdings. In either way, now we just need to wait and build our nation a little bit in order to not die to coalition. I know, it's not exactly the Roman way, but I can't argue that we are the Tuscans, which means that we don't really release our Pizza World Conqueror's potential yet. So just calm down a little bit and make your diplomacy with the bigger guys. In my case, I might be able to even ally France, which will be even better if they don't turn into friendly attitude towards us, which is now hostile, but only because I Corin. I recently conquered province which is, well, in fact, unlawful territory. Load all your army maintenance and multiple our forts, and now it's just a matter of waiting and building your nation. Since we do have a really great ruler, we'll probably able to reach some tax before anyone else, giving us even some innovativeness. And don't care that much about that French thing. I just allied them and got involved about all the thing about the 100 Years War. But to be fair, I don't even plan on paying for my troops. And you know, buddy, I believe in you. Go get them. Go. Go, France, go. And with some improvement of relations, I am even able to royal marriage Austria, pavimenting our way into alliance later on. That's, my friend, is the Italy playstyle, and now I am even anxious about later on switch into Ottomans and maybe Castile, if you get what I'm saying. Oh yeah, the Italian way of making friends. See that the Pope guy is a bit occupied right now, and Ferrara is loyal and Sato supportive, which means that he will be using that opportunity to not only grab that province, but get rid of some annoying alliance that the Pope gathered with some major nations, such as Austria and Aragon. Even help us in maintaining our alliance with Austria, since they are our enemies. So just move your troops in the border of Bologna and declare the war. Seek first to stack wipe the Pope vassals after they leave Bologna, and just after that, with the help of your vassal, siege down Roma. They might have the number advantage, but we do have the brain advantage, and just in a moment the tech advantage as well. So don't be afraid and quick some courier bloods, okay? I'm gonna even call Saluzzo, and just because I can. After they leave the Bologna stack, our priority will be not really in winning the battles, but in holding the ground and sniping for the Papal subjects' armies. See that the Ferrara fort was already proved to be useful in growing their army. Bologna itself is not really a great title to take battles, but France on the other hand will be giving us a dice roll advantage, so it's okay if you lose 1 or 2 battles in the meantime. Just try to not get wiped, and everything should be just fine. Don't be afraid to retreat if you need it. we're going to 100% lose that battle. So take a look around you and seek a solution to not take heavy losses. Milan itself is in the middle of two zones of control that our forts provide. So ask for military access if you don't have one already, and run away to fight another day. Instead of being a fool that run after the stacks, you just locked the way out of Ferrara capital. In the meantime, I send some low manpower stacks to the capital of the subjects of the Pope and reunite all of my army to attack the main stack. It's an easy strategy to be done, but indeed gives us some great results. Now it's just a matter of killing their armies and stand at the Pope capital, which should be more than enough to piece them out of the war. Now it's just a matter of Ferrara attaching to my army in order to give us the number advantage. But you see, they kinda are not in the mood right now, for some reason. And that, lads, is how you beat up an old guy. If the army killed, just go straight to the Papal State capital. And leave that up a little guy to prevent Bologna from recruiting new troops. And just like magic, we can already piece them out of the war, which is not exactly what I'll be doing. Remember, Austria and Aragon, there are potential alliance for us as ally to the Pope, which has rivaled us. So what we want in fact is to annul all treaties with Aragon and Austria. Bologna will soon cease to exist, which will be leaving the Pope diplomatic isolated in the middle of Italy. So for that we will really need to siege Rome down. But what I recommend, that you might already guess it, is to send some troops in order to siege the province and prevent the Pope to ever regain the strength to fight us again. For that, 1k stack to Ancona and Spoleto should be enough. Well, I think that is just thematic that we do give the clergy the middle finger, at least for now. To help us, even if just a little bit, in the Roma siege, I will start to build a spy network in the Papal States. It's not that much, but you know. In the end, all the modifiers will add together. In order to help with the decay of aggressive expansion, what can already be done is to set your merchant into establish community trading policy, which will give us some improved relations with all the nations that have at least a bit of influence in the trade route. I will be setting the Genoa trade node to establish community, as well as the Ragusa one, in order to really help with the decay with all the nations around me. For your first government reform, we do really have just 3 options. The Republican tradition, which is, in my opinion, with an Italian signora, just not that big of a deal. The manpower one, which can be quite lackluster, since it's just a 10% increase. Or the money-making one, meritocratic rule, which is what I will be picking, giving us 5% goods produced modifier, which being goods produced is already massive, and some chance for a female advisor. 25% more chance to be exact, as well as giving us the ability to recruit some female generals. So, you know the drill. I do love equality. So you're saying to me that to conquer some ancestral capital of a big dick energy empire, we just need really some gear power? Don't mind if I do. For the Papal State, we'll be annulling the treaties with Aragon and Austria and take max money, even war reparations if you can. Yeah, that is a little better. Now just send your mercenary troops to Bologna and conquer them already. With the money got off the Pope dude, I'll be paying my loans. The next money that we get, you'll be using to build a nation with some churches, workshops, and even some marketplace in the trading province, which is, if you don't know, the one that have trading centers or extra such as Firenze, Pisa, Lucca, Genova itself, and Ferrara, when you get into the Venetian trade node. That might not be the best play right now, if I have to be honest. but Luca just got pissed out and lose all their allies, and as well as the troops in the process. Whoa. I know, we do have some AE, but the Bologna War will not even be giving us that much. So you guys might already know the drill, right? Well, are you ready to be befriended, Luca? Oh yes, a casual triple war in the beginning of the game as a, well, minor power? I just love the normal duality of the game. Win the war, gain some inflation. Lose your amazing ruler. I swear, the energy is just never in my side. But let's see. With Italian Signora, we can elect from the ruler family. And the best one that I can get right here is Adriano de' Medici. It's a 441, which is way better than a 411. The only lackluster thing is that I might want to get a military idea for the first idea slot, since we'll be expanding and developing with Diplo and admin. Well, develop is modded with Diplo, but expand with admin. It's just unfortunate that the ruler was already passed down, no? Just with 6-3 we can say that he lived a long life, but I'm pretty sure that in the, well, real world, he lived for at least more, I'm not even sure, but I think that's 10 years? Well, I'll be taking Adriano, don't mind if I do. And for Bologna, it's a full annexation. And for Lucca, I will just improve with Venice and... only with Venice and Genoa, if they don't rival, they rival me. Venice and Savoy. Well, Venice really don't like my guts, right? Ferrari is just that valuable to you, friend? I'll just improve them with Savoy in order to get them out of the coalition. Maybe improve with Mantua. Yeah, I will be improving with Mantua and Savoy in the meantime. Well, when Luca go down, and you have improved relations with the border countries like I do with Mantua and Savoy, you can ready for annex them. And see that the only nation that will really be bothered is Genoa and Trent. Trent is just a joke, and Genoa is probably our next target anyway, but just after the Shadow Kingdom has fired. So, peace Luca out of the war. And if France hate your guts as much as they hate mine, you probably will be still in that stupid 100 Years War, which is giving me, for now, 10 war exhaustion. I swear, I gain 1/4 of war exhaustion per month, but I am too afraid to lose trust with France and lose my double alliance with France and Austria, which make me basically invincible. So right now I don't even get why that war continued. They have the war score to take all the French lands. Maybe what they want is take Calais as well, but I don't think that while being blocked is possible. So I guess I will just have to pay to see. If the war prolongs that much in your games as well, if the war has prolonged that much in your game as well, I recommend that you start to curry favors with France and separate peace for the war. That will reduce the French trust by 10, but in some cases, you see, 11 war exhaustion is a pretty harsh thing to have in your nation. So for that, I will be reducing the war exhaustion a little bit, basically in order to make Lucca a bit more cheap to core. 1, 2, 3. Bang. We have double in size and even got a vassal, which is maybe not that much in our overall playthrough, But you have to keep in mind that the Shadow Kingdom has not fired yet, and we are playing the Italy region, which has, well, that kind of province. Make your overall expansion really slow in the beginning. But after the Shadow Kingdom has fired and most of the Italian nations get out of the HRE, we'll be able to even double chunk some nations like Venice that is not in the HRE but has really well developed province here. And Sais is the Venetian trade node we don't really care for now, but after we consolidated the Genoa one, we'll be moving to Venice, since both of them are entry nodes and thus stack a bunch of trade money in the mid to late game, since we'll be pushing to, well, basically all the nodes around. Like you see here in Genoa that have 5 nodes that will be directly pushed towards Genoa, which later will be translated and not even been joking, hundreds of income in each of the trade nodes. Now it's just a matter of paying your loans and build some buildings in order to scale. Finally! For God's sake! Yeah, was the Kalai one. Oh, they even released Pale. What is going on right here? Granada is kinda winning the war? Whoa, Granada probably got a lucky siege in Toledo and go for the northern parts. You see, it's quite funny in my opinion. If Castile lose Toledo, they pretty much don't have access to the other part of the nation. So that's why I think that the Toledo capital fort is just... well, it's a grassland capital fort, it's bullshit. Well, at least the Tolkien is not popping off that much in that game. Oh yeah. And you love when the AI just decide to screw with you. France decide to just ally Genoa now. Because... yes. Well, I don't think that they are ally before. At least I don't have noticed. So in order to deal with that, we do have to wait quite some time before our next conquest. For at least 6 to 7 years. So in that meantime, I will be currying favors in order to, with the favor mechanics, let me just pick that. Yeah, break alliance. With 50 favors, we can break alliance with Genoa and, well, conquer them without France even bothering. I will be improving in the meantime my relations with Ferrara, and as soon as I can, which will be pretty soon, yet 58, they will start to be annexed. For now, we pretty much don't have any government capacity issues because, as you might remember, our capital state don't cost any government capacity, and we pretty much have Tuscany and now one province in the Emilia-Romagna region. But after I expand, specifically in the northern parts, government capacity could be an issue. So something that I do like to do is to release Aquileia or even Padua later in order to become little buffer states before we can reach the big government capacity techs, such as the Tech 12. Since we do indeed plan to stay in the HRE, what can be a pain in the ass for government capacity? Since the HRE points, we don't really have the capacity to upgrade our government rank. Well, at least not without being an elector or the emperor itself, and as you might already know, a republic nation cannot be the emperor of the HRE. So for now, pick your new rivals, which shall be going with... not going to ally France, right? Right, the Papal States, and I'll be picking Genoa in order to preserve my alliance with France, at least until I get the necessary favors. Instead, I will be going with Venice, and leave the third slot without picking anything. I know that do hurt our power projector a little bit, but it's not something that we can be dealing with right now, so sometimes you have to do what you have to do. After embracing the Renaissance, we can already complete another mission. improving even more advisor cost reduction and give some prestige for 15 years, leading to some stability if you have at least 9 Republican rotation, some tech and idea discounts which I'll be waiting to pick when I unlock my first idea slot. In order to complete that mission, we just need to upgrade one of our advisors to level 3, which as you see right now is basically free. Some more prestige after commission the Mona Lisa, later become even -2 prestige decay, that basically will be translated and are 100% prestige all the time. When you add some other modifiers like the Santa Maria del Fiore, that also give us -1 prestige decay, making us probably the most prestigious nation around. And after getting some money, we'll be leading to one of the best missions in the game that only requires us to have 0 inflation, and in your turn, you'll be giving some state maintenance and one of the most broken economic modifier in the game, -0.5 interest per annum, which when your economy got big enough, you'll be really popping off. You do have some good income already and a +5 balance, and that even before we scale, keep that in mind. The left part of the mission is basically some expansion in the northern bits of Italy and consolidating things, which is good, but, not a -2 prestige decay. So it starts to feel a bit lackluster when you compare to the other side of the mission, which basically is the scaling one. For the ideas, I do have some thoughts in what you should pick. First, I highly recommend 2 idea sets. The first one is a plain tau build, which in that specific case will not be starting with economic, but instead with innovative ideas. If you think that I'm crazy, follow me for a moment. First, that stacking -4 prestige decay itself is ridiculous, to say the least, but the innovativeness game modifier means that you will be stacking minus all power costs even faster, which, when reaching your 100 innovativeness, is the same as -10 to death cost reduction. The tech cost reduction on top of the innovativeness is just busted. The 25% advisor cost reductions, which means that level 5 advisors can become cheaper than I knew. An overall really great idea set, who become even greater the sooner you pick it. The economic ideas can become just 3rd or even 4th idea slot in that kind of build. I know, their economic modifiers as well as the construction cost is really great, but in the longer run, starting with innovativeness and later picking economic is probably the best set for playing tall, and focus on only developing your nation. The second build is pretty standard, is expansionist one. Pick diplomatic for a first idea, which is just an S-tier idea for expansion with other diplomats, the massive improve relations modifier in order to help with the aggressive expansion decay, and the province war score cost, which just make conquest easier. In my case, as I said, I'm going for a tall gameplay, which means that innovativeness is my first idea to be unlocked. So a bunch of things are going on right now, but the biggest one is that the Shadow Kingdom just fired, giving us the option to vote to make the Emperor abandon the Italy holdings of the Empire or stay, which in turn will give them the option to reign in Italy in order to maintain the Italian nations inside the HRE. We do want them to abandon Italy in order to giving us upper hand in expanding with no AE malus. The second one is our government reform. I do tend to prefer the rights of re-election in order to add the cost of some republican tradition to force another election and boost your ruler a little bit. And with Italian Signoria, we do have 12 years of term of election, so boosting that even more is just not that good, and reducing will not change that much either, so just pick the re-election thing. And last but not least, we will finally clicking the commission of Mona Lisa, because we got enough admin power to get some juice in ideas, and some prestige as well, why not? We really want to complete at least 3 ideas first before taking any more tax and with the money that we got in the meantime, I will be first building a church in Firenze and later the marketplace all around. And when the Imperial Diet ends, we get to leave the HRE or stay in the Empire. If you're allied with the Emperor, nothing will really happen, on top of that prestige loss. But otherwise we do get some negative modifiers, so keep that in mind when playing your conquest. And if you see another nation being ganked, I do recommend that you play code and attack them as well. I will be taking my clan right here. And since France is not willing to join a general war right now, I'm going to attack them and later call Austria and Saluzzo. If you call Austria right now, that will be boosting the French attitude towards the war, since they kinda hate Austria guts. So I will just attack and call my allies. When France deny the call to arms, thus ending their alliance. So do that, not allied anymore. And I do need to first finish the Venice War. For the election, I will be keeping your ruler, even if it costs a bunch of Republican tradition. A 552 ruler is a power to be reckoned with. And after dealing with the Venetian troops, we already have enough war score to take Ravenna and Treviso. Ravenna to fix our borders a little bit, and Treviso to give us a foothold in the Venetian area. On top of that, take the max amount of money that they're willing to give you. We really don't want to take that much AE here, because the Genoa War is already gone on, and that province right here will cost us a bit of AE as well, so make a slow expansion here. And now with the initial bit, we can focus on first peace the papal state of the war, and then conquer Genoa. I swear, don't you even dare. And with Rome out of the picture, I will be taking money and humiliate, some raw reps, and a bit less of money. That is the ideal peace deal for me right now. And now it's just a matter of killing that little shit. And then just go to make enough splendor to take Age ability, which you might already guessed it, but will be the justified war, in order to tank down the aggressive expense a little bit more, and make us not die to that conquest. And when we reach enough war score, we can red peace Genoa for all their Italian holdings, forcing them to get an exodus into the eastern bits of Europe. See that the coalition is pretty much dead, or nations that don't really matter, such as Bregenz or Padua. Take the max amount of money that you can, and if you have the options, some raw reparations, and the end of treaties with another nation to just get some prestige. And I think that now is a good point to leave the game. The video was already getting massive, to be fair, and we do have done some really good consolidating, and now we have a bunch of the general trade income. We'll just let the month pass by for you guys to see that we do start with 6 income, if I'm not wrong, and now is a break of alliance with Milan. They don't matter that much. The next target will probably be their lands anyway. We do have some really good economic growth here, and some really good solid alliance with France and Austria to back us. So now it's just a matter of taking tax and unlocking ideas to boost your strength even more. For a second idea group, I do recommend plutocratic or quality. Plutocratic is just a really good overall idea group to republics, and quality is a boost your military might, and with innovative is really broken with the 15% infantry compatibility policy. So for now, I do recommend that you fully consolidate the northern parts before going to the south. See that taking Rome is not that easy, not because of the war, but because the occupation of Rome modifier giving us a penalty to diplomatic reputation and papal influence. So in order to get rid of that modifier, we do need to form Italy, which can only be made at the Tech 10, so is more of a later thing to be done. If you don't think that your game will be that well, I will leave the save file in my Discord server. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and please do subscribe as well. See ya! So we are here again, huh? Thank you guys for watching so far. Here another video do you enjoy. And if you come that far, subscribe. I mean, the button is literally there.